Fort Hood's great big podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Samantha Farlow with the Fort Hood Garrison's office.
Hello all, I am Specialist Brianna with the 1st Cavalry Division Band.
And I'm Sergeant First Class Kelvin Ringold of 13 Expeditionary Sustainment Command. Beat that.
That sounds pretty good. I really like that. I'm Sergeant Lamont Shavers, the Public Affairs NCOIC for the 69th Air Defense Artillery Brigade. What up?
Wow, beautiful. And this week, we are talking to the new Garrison Commander, Colonel Chad R. Foster, about his time here so far. And we are also having a very sad goodbye, so be sure to stay tuned and listen in.
Hey golfers, are you looking for a new course to play? The Courses of Clear Creek is a 27-hole course with challenging greens located in the scenic rolling hills of Fort Hood. With a 300-yard driving range, 2 putting greens, and a 4-hole kids course, we're the premier golf course in Central Texas. Our pro shop is always stocked with the latest golfing equipment and name brand apparel, while our beautiful pavilion overlooking the course is a great place to enjoy a cold beverage. The Courses of Clear Creek, open to the public, offering annual, monthly, and summer membership packages. Give us a call today at 254-287-4130 or find us on the web at hood.armymwr.com.
It's me, Super Mario. Woohoo! Hello to all my friends at the Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast. You number one.
Hello, we are here now with Colonel Chad R. Foster. Thanks so much for being on the show with us today, sir.
It is great to be here with you today.
And we also have Blair here from the Fort Hood Sentinel, a semi-regular co-host in a way.
Hi.
How's it going, Blair?
Good.
Good. So we are here today to talk with Mr. Foster, Colonel Foster here, about who you are. Just, you know, you're the new Garrison Commander. We're just hoping to kind of get to know you a little bit and see how your time has been here at Fort Hood so far.
Well, I think your whatever ratings you track may plummet precipitously if you're talking about who I am.
No.
But no, you know, I'm an armor officer. I've been in the Army now 23, working on 24 years. Third time being stationed here at Fort Hood, so this is my Army home.
Yeah.
And I tell you, this is the most challenging job I think you could have as a colonel in the Army. The complexity, size, scale, whatever, of the things that go on here at this installation are truly impressive. And I have learned so much in the last really about a month, I guess now I've been in command. But the amount of stuff I have yet to learn is quite daunting as I consider it. But because we have so many great professionals here that work for the garrison, that work for our partner units on the base, I really have complete confidence, if not in myself, then at least confidence in them, that I can hopefully meet all of the expectations here. And if there are any shortfalls with that, it will certainly be completely due to myself and not due to any of the support that is available here at this great place that we call Fort Hood.
Absolutely. Well, I was kind of hoping to get to know you just like a little personally. What's a hobby of yours that you really love?
So I'm a strange person, I suppose, maybe with some aspects of who I am and what I am. So I'm a Tennessean. I was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee, grew up in that part of the country. And yet I have zero interest in country music or NASCAR or any of the things that you normally associate with maybe that part of the country.
Blair's
in fact,
specialty.
Yeah, well, yeah. So in reality, I mean, the things that I'm most interested in just in my free time, I like music. Specifically, I like heavy metal, punk rock, classic rock too. I play guitar, bass guitar specifically is what I spend most of my time on these days. Although, I've played different things over the years. So that's really what I spend most of my free time on outside of just family. Like I said, being a Tennessean, it's hard to be a Tennessean without being a University of Tennessee fan, which I've grown up, as such. Even though I'm a graduate of the United States Military Academy, that was like going to a different planet for me back in the 90s when around 1994 when I started there as a cadet. Going to New York was like going to Mars because I'd never been north of Kentucky before.
A little bit of culture shock.
It was, but a great experience. Learned a lot, certainly, and without that, I would never have the opportunity to meet my wife, have my son, or to be back here with you at Fort Hood.
Yeah, that's incredible. You mentioned that this is your third time here. What has changed over the years that you really love about it? What are you most excited for being back here?
The people is what makes this place special. Some of the same people are here that were here the previous times that I was stationed. My family and I were stationed here at Fort Hood, but a lot of new people too. But what doesn't change is there is really a spirit of community here that is, in my opinion, second to none. It's a community that grows together, that plays together, that works hard together, sacrifices together. And that's really the legacy of this installation, I think, is that legacy of service and sacrifice and the closeness of the community to Fort Hood. It's like a family, and sometimes family relations, get strained for things here and there, but in the long run, what you know is you're in it together. And that's really the biggest thing for me, and it's always the people that are what makes an assignment, a location special.
And what are you most excited for being about here in Texas specifically? Is there something that you just really love about Texas that you're so thrilled to be back here for?
So my wife is a Texan.
Oh, okay.
So that, of course, I come from a long line of Tennesseans who have come to Texas for various things. David Crockett, of course. I have a small portrait of David Crockett up in my office, primarily because his example of sacrifice and kind of one of those persons that if all you know about him is the Disney character, that on the TV, then you really don't know anything about him. So not a perfect man by any stretch of the imagination, but a very interesting man, worthy of a lot of respect, I think, for what he did. But getting back to your question, so it's tough to pin down, but Texas is a great place for music. Lots of great concerts within short driving distances, and of course Austin city limits.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to taking advantage of that while I'm here, and that's probably what I would say I'm most looking forward to.
That's awesome. Blair here, if you don't know, is from Texas.
Yes.
So she.
I never would have guessed. Yeah.
I know.
Out there you can't see, but she has these great pair of cowboy boots on.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives that away. So not only are you clearly a Texan with those boots, but you have this fantastic. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier T-shirt on, which
Thank you.
I think everybody out there that isn't living under a rock knows what's going on with that, and that the success of the Marvel movies and something near and dear to my heart as a comic book fan from a very young age.
Mm-hmm. See, my first impression of you when you stopped by the office really briefly when you first started, I was wearing a Falcon and Winter Soldier T-shirt and my boots because it was raining outside and I was going to have to be standing outside. I was like, oh no, the new Garrison Commander's in here and I look like a Texas bum. Like, what is this? And then you were like, oh, I love your shirt. And I was like, yes. Oh my gosh. So I need to know, who is your favorite Marvel character?
Okay, if you're going with just Marvel.
Just Marvel.
Okay, because I'll be honest up front. I'm a huge DC fan. Because I'm a pure comic book guy, so I don't just go off of movies.
Okay, I got you.
However, if you're talking Marvel, my favorite character is, of course, the Incredible Hulk.
Okay.
I've been a little disappointed with Marvel's handling of him on screen. Not because I don't like Mark Ruffalo, because I think he's a fantastic actor and I think he's done a great job.
Yeah.
But I think there's just so much more to do with that character. He's not just a punchline or a sidekick for Thor. I mean, when Stan Lee created the Hulk many, many years ago, the way he described him was he's like the nuclear age Frankenstein monster.
Yeah.
So he's got this tragedy that he lives through, even as he, as things play out with his heroism. Mm-hmm. And right now, I'll tell you, I still collect comics, although not on the same scale that I did when I was younger. Mm-hmm. But one of the couple of series that I still pick up on a regular basis is the Immortal Hulk. It's a current series, and anyone out there who's interested in it, is absolutely the best series that's out there right now. I think from pretty much any company, but definitely from Marvel, it's the best one out there.
Okay, so even though DC has just disappointed me, and here's why. I go off the movies, okay? And I fully acknowledge the legacy that Superman and Batman have, but I've just never been into the comics. But the movies, I'm all about movies. So, who is your favorite DC character?
Okay, so I'm going to answer that two different ways. I'm going to say, first of all, bar none, it's Batman. Batman is. Not only do I think Batman is the greatest comic book character of all time, I would argue he's one of the greatest literary characters of all time.
Okay.
And why is that? You say? People always look at me like I'm crazy when I say this kind of stuff, but I mean, when you think about it, he's this mixture of like Captain Ahab from Moby Dick, where he's just obsessed with avenging the death of his parents. That's why he's is on this crusade against crime. He's also like Sherlock Holmes. He's the greatest detective that's ever walked the earth. And then he's a ninja on top of everything else. I mean, how cool is that? To mix all those things. You got the brains, you got the brawn, and he's the one superhero that all the other superheroes are scared of, even though he has no powers, because they know he's figured out a way to take care of them. Because being our representative as humanity on the Justice League, this tribunal of, I guess you'd call them gods almost, with all their godlike powers, he's like us, in the sense that he recognizes the vulnerability of mankind, and he's willing to kind of play that part amongst that really massive and impressive group of people.
Yeah.
So, but I really like the supernatural characters too. So John Constantine, and if anybody out there, if all you know of John Constantine is the Keanu Reeves movie, you don't really know John Constantine, although I love Keanu Reeves, and I thought he did a very good job in the movie. He played the character, the essence of the character well, but in appearance and sound, how he talks. If you imagine Sting from the Police back in the 80s, that's what John Constantine looks like. He's this British guy. He's got his Cockney accent. Yeah, John Constantine is one of my other favorite characters, and I like the Swamp Thing, which is where John Constantine kind of came from in the comics. And on the Marvel side, you got great supernatural characters like Blade. Everybody forgets Blade is a Marvel character, and I think Marvel's looking to bring him back into the movie continuity soon. So really looking forward to that. Morbius, the Living Vampire, is another one that's coming out. So yeah, I'm big into the supernatural characters.
Yeah. See, and why I like comics so much, and especially since I've started this job, this is my first job right out of college, and I haven't really gotten out of Texas a whole lot. So I feel like I've kind of seen the world without going out, but I've been able to connect with so many people through, the TV shows, the characters, all of that. So that's why I like it so much, and I push it so hard, and I was so happy when you acknowledged my shirt that day. I was like, oh, thank God.
Well, when I was young, I mean, we were lucky to get a half-decent animated show about, any of these characters. And so the kids today are really spoiled, but I'm really glad that they're spoiled, because now we're adults and we can enjoy it too. But, it's just so different how the world's turned, and how that used to be. Those were funny books. Those were things that were kind of sneered at, and now they're just like this really big thing in the entertainment industry. But there's also an acknowledgement of the depth of the storylines you can have. It's really a neat time to be a comic book fan. And I learned how to read starting off reading comic books. I mean, my sister, who's 8 years older than me, was teaching me different words. I would be reading through an issue of Detective Comics with Batman in it, and she would I would find a word I didn't know what it was, and she would tell me what the word was, and I would learn that word, and that's how I was able to read the rest of the story.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. Earlier when you mentioned people who live under a rock who don't know what's happening, that's me. I don't know anything about that, so it's very interesting. I learned a lot just now. I know nothing.
It's okay, Sam.
Thank you. So since you are now the Garrison Commander, and you're about 30 days in so far, is there changes that you have seen or things that you've come to appreciate more now that you're in this position compared to where you were when you were previously here?
Absolutely. Nothing during my previous time, I shouldn't say nothing, very little during my previous assignments here have really prepared me for this job. I mean, you're here, you're in, different units on base. For me, you're out shooting tank gunnery or stuff like that. And incredibly difficult jobs that continue with other far more capable people doing those today than when I was doing them for me personally. But yeah, I didn't really know the scope, I think, in the wide variety of things that goes on that makes this installation capable of supporting the thousands of soldiers and their families that live here and work here, that supports in a very unique way the national security of the United States. And now I have a much broader appreciation for that and the role that the community plays in that particular bit of service. And then I've already said this before, but the civilian professionals here on this base, I mean, we couldn't do this without that civilian workforce. We could not support the soldiers and their families. We couldn't support the units that are here and the great history that those units have without that civilian workforce. And so it's just really impressive to see that every day and to see that different side of what goes on here at Fort Hood.
With that, we also have services like events that focus on the people here and, celebrating as well as commemorating. So the 4th of July is coming up. There are lots of things happening around that. Could you tell us a little bit about what's going on for that?
Well, first, before I talk about any of that, I'd have to say just big thanks to the people that make that possible. I mean, if you've been stationed here at Fort Hood or if you've been serving anywhere, you've seen the level of support we get from the USO specifically, everywhere in the world, to include home station. And then, the vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Hyten, he's going to be here coming in. He's going to be coming in with that group of entertainers that's going to be helping us here and supporting us here during that celebration. So thanks to him, thanks to all of the Department of Defense, really, because this is one, it's not just the Army, it's one big joint team. And that's not just a slogan, that's the reality. And you can kind of see that with what we're doing here for the Independence Day celebration. That's wonderful. So the celebration itself is going to be occurring on July 2nd. Is that correct? That is correct. It'll be on July 2nd. We celebrate July 4th on July 2nd. But it's not July 4th. It's Independence Day, right?
That's right.
So, people say July 4th is kind of a shorthand, but it's really Independence Day. And no matter when you celebrate it, the meaning doesn't change. And the idea behind that was to kind of consolidate a few different events on the single day so we can kind of maximize the celebration for the community, for the soldiers, for the families, and really hopefully everyone can enjoy it. Yeah, absolutely. So everything will be starting that day on the 2nd at 4 p.m., and that's going to be at Hood Stadium for those people who would like to attend. There will be entertainment as well as fireworks in the evening. So if you want to attend, be sure to get on out there. And one more shout out to our Directorate of Family Morale, Welfare, and Recreation, DFMWR, because all those agencies that we already talked about, they're supporting it, but the ones who are really making it happen and doing all of the work behind the scenes and in front of the scenes sometimes are those individuals. So thank them when you see them walking around the base, and thank them during the celebration, because without them it wouldn't happen. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast with us. I know Blair loved discussing comics with you. I loved learning about that and just about yourself as well. Next time, maybe we can talk about some rock and roll or something like that. Absolutely. And I'll be into that, and we can. That's the big thing I really enjoy doing. Comic books is right up there with it though. So, but thank you for your time today. It's been great talking to you, and just most importantly, it's just fantastic to be back here at the great place.
Flash floods in central Texas happen within only a few hours of rain. Every year, more than 80% of flood fatalities involve vehicles, and about 10 people drown in their vehicles each year in Texas. Vehicles of every size can lose control, float, and roll over in flood conditions. Is taking the risk worth it? Is it worth the risk of leaving loved ones behind? Overconfidence kills. Don't drive through floodwater. It's not worth it.
Hi, I'm Specialist Kyra Pearl from the 11th Signal Brigade, and you're listening to Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast. Hey, I'm back from maternity leave. Now, is Brianna leaving soon? I'd like to get back on the air and in the studio. Hello? Hello? Hello?
I want to say thank you one more time to Colonel Foster for being on the show with us. I know I learned so much about him, especially when he left the studio. You guys weren't here for this, but when he left, he would not stop talking about comics. He was so excited that he found somebody in Blair.
Oh, Blair is the one
about.
To go to, for sure.
Glad she was in here.
Yes.
So I know you guys.
I know nothing. So when I was in there, I was lost. He mentioned if people don't know what's happening, they must be living under a rock. And I said, yes, that would be me. That is me. Yeah.
I live under a rock.
You called me out on that. Well, it has been, today is just the day of change around here. We changed the sound. If you guys are listening and didn't notice, the music changed.
Yeah.
Just in case you didn't
If
notice.
you've made it this far.
Yeah. music did change. The logo changed as well. Very exciting. And the Fort Hood Garrison Facebook pages have changed. There's one Facebook page now instead of the Garrison Command and the broadcast operations. So everyone will have one source of information.
Heck yeah.
Very exciting.
3 changes at once.
Well, and we have another change because we're losing somebody on the podcast.
Sorry, Bree.
Very sad.
I'm sad. I don't forgive you. You can't leave.
Well, it's official. Sorry. See you later, HRC. You've been trumped.
Oh.
You guys are done. Yeah, I'm out of here. I've had enough. I'm going to go feed my cat for a little while. And then, it's cool. It's been great. As Dave knows, I did not want to do this podcast in the first place. However, he wanted some help. So I said, oh, man, this is some BS. I was like, fine, Dave. And there I was, the grumpy guy. But then somewhere along the line, you guys chiseled at this thing right here. This thing. It's right here. No, I'm just kidding. Especially not you. Yeah. But no, I have fun. You guys are tolerable. I'll say that.
Wow, what a compliment.
Yes.
Yeah. We strive.
Because most people are intolerable in my eyes, and you guys you're quite tolerable.
Well, thank you.
I'm glad we reached the bar for you.
I like you guys a little bit.
Aww.
Wow.
A little bit.
Yeah,
Notice he didn't say that. I really like you guys. It was like, I like you guys. Kind of, sort of, maybe.
If I have to.
Yeah, if it was, I don't know, between Cake and you guys. You guys would make it a little rough, but I would turn down the cake.
Wow. I really thought you were going to pick the cake there.
Nope. That's how much I like you guys.
Wow.
Do you think you learned anything from your time here?
Yes. I learned so many things about life, just about being a person, a better man, a better soldier, a better podcast host. And a better cat owner.
Oh, that's what we strive.
I love you, little meow meow. Meow. But no, yes, this was quite enjoyable. It's been a great. How long has it been? January? Is that when I started? January?
Yeah, you started.
Why am I looking at the wall, asking the wall a question like, "Hello, wall.
Speak to me. Give me the answers."
Yeah, but it was great. It was fun.
Wow, a glowing review.
Yeah.
It was fun. Very.
Would you do it again?
Of course. In all seriousness, you guys, you changed my bad mood sometimes. I'd be in a bad mood. I'd come in here. I'd be like, man, whatever. Then you'd be like, oh, hey, everybody. Hey, it's me. Yeah, the good old days. Wait a minute. It's still the day.
Still the day. Yeah, it's not that old.
I will always cherish these recordings. I will forever.
Well, it's a good thing you can listen to them over and over and over again.
Forever streaming.
Just
right.
Keep our ratings up.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Keep listening.
It was me when you get that ratings bump.
Yay.
I just listened about 30 times. Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, don't forget about us when you're over there in Korea. Have safe travels.
I'm doing that and nobody even understands. Did you understand that?
Yeah, breakfast.
Don't. Who said that?
Oh, the Breakfast Club.
Thank you.
At the end, he's
I
raising his arm up, at the end of the
movie.
Hits the note on that as he's walking out. Great song, great movie.
Say, we should get a photo of you in that pose.
Oh.
Well, you had your opportunity to get a photo of me last week. Did my voice just crack?
It did.
In that beautiful photo that I was not in, but we're not going to talk about that. But the photo is my screen background, so it is a good photo.
Yeah, thank you.
He's referring to the photo of the three of us in the Fort Hood Sentinel, standing watch since 1942.
Don't you forget about me. Don't you. I'm not kidding. I don't cry. Well, yes, thank you, everybody. Keep on rocking. We out.
This podcast is a U.S. Army Garrison Fort Hood and Fort Hood Public Affairs production. The Great Big Podcast is produced by me, Dave Larson,
hosted by Samantha Farlow, Specialist Brianna Dew, and Sergeant Lamont Shavers. The show's theme music is written and produced by Delicious All-Stars. All our music is obtained through Filter by Songtrader. Have a question or want to share some insights with us? Email us at forthoodpao@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at USAG Fort Hood. And as always, be sure to leave a review and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.